Basically, Jesus gives us a threefold challenge for handling disputes with other people. Number one, there is the confidential approach. Did you see that? He says, when you have an offense with somebody offended you, here's what you do. This is from Jesus, not Zach, not from some theologian. This is from Jesus Christ. When you have an issue with a person, go to that person. And notice the Bible is very clear to tell us, Jesus says, you go to him alone. You go to the person, you talk about the issue, and you attempt to resolve that issue. And if after something has been said or done, you can't simply forgive someone from your heart, it's continually bothering you. This is what Jesus said. Go directly to that person to deal with the issue. Notice what he did not say. If you are offended by somebody or somebody offends you, go talk to Sister fill in the blank about this. Go talk to brother so-and-so about this. No, this is a confidential approach. It is thee and him alone. Okay, so here's the question. But what if they didn't see what they did as a problem, what they said as a problem? Number two, there is the collective approach. If he will not hear thee, in other words, if he's like, I don't want to hear it, I'm not interested, I'm not talking to you. No, we're not going to reconcile this. This is the next thing you do. Take with thee one or two more, that in the mouth of two or three witnesses, every word may be established. So here's what you do. You bring saved, spirit-filled people into the conversation to help resolve that issue. And then, God forbid, if they still refuse to acknowledge their error. Number three, Jesus says this is now, we have to take the corporate approach. If he shall neglect to hear them, tell it unto the church. So when the person who has sinned against you refuses to repent, refuses to reconcile, it then becomes a corporate issue in the church. And then Jesus says, if they still don't respond, so they haven't responded to the confidential approach, they didn't respond to the collective approach, they didn't respond to the corporate approach, here's what you do. He said this, let him be unto thee as a heathen and as a publican. You know what he basically says? Just assume that they're lost, they're not saved, and pray that they would be saved. That's what you do. And by the way, let me tell you something. This approach works at church, but it also works at home. It's great if you want to try to deal with marital or personal issues confidentially. That's a great thing to do. I encourage you to do that. But sometimes it is appropriate and needful to take the collective approach and begin to invite spirit-filled, mature believers into the conversation to provide biblical leadership and guidance. All I'm saying this morning is this. The words that we use are powerful. The words that we use can be very painful, so we must learn to use them wisely.